let me tell you about Viki. Let me tell you about its inception, how it started, why we're doing it. A group of friends and I, we get together once a week and we meet just to draw, have a beer, and we always talked about making a large project that no one person could do by themselves. But the problem is that everyone is an artist and they wanted to do their own thing. And so finding something that we are all really excited about took a while. One day, well, not one day, it was kind of maybe a year later. I was home at Christmas and I kept thinking, I was like, I'm getting older and I really miss some of the things from my youth. And that's when it clicked. I was like, I like games. And then I realized, well, everyone that's in my art group, we all work for game companies. Why don't we make a large art project that kind of really celebrates the gaming industry and celebrates where we all came from and what influenced us to be where we are today. And so I pitched him the idea of making an arcade machine that played the old games and played the new games. But not only that, but really used a theme to make you want to play the games or make you want to go back in time to play the games. And so that's when I came up with the idea of a time machine. And so what we ended up doing is I got the guys together and we went to Bob Burns' museum. This is a museum in Hollywood. It's a private museum. You kind of have to know the guy to get there. But he has the original time machine. And so we were able to climb around it, take measurements, talk to the guy because he's done a lot of projects with that time machine. He's a real character and he was really excited about our project because one, the time machine is a Hollywood prop. And so when you do see it, it looks real until you touch it. And then you realize that this is all PVC, it's made of paper, a lot of plastic. And we wanted to make something real. And so everything that is on our machine, it's gonna feel great to the touch. It's gonna feel, you know, awesome to see, to hear. You know, if you knock on it, you're gonna know that this thing is solid. And so we were gonna make it in that caliber and bring it to areas like museums or art galleries, things that would specialize in Victorian work, in steampunk work, or video game museums. There's lots of these around the country. A lot of people, you know, just want to celebrate, you know, what we had, what we once had, and why can't we still have it? So that's kind of it. And one thing that people ask is, you know, why do you want $12,000 for this thing? Well, let me tell you, it's like building something to this quality requires a certain amount of money. For instance, milling metal, you know, getting brass itself. Brass, when you buy brass in pounds, it's about, I think it's by pound, it's about $6.85 a pound. And brass is really, really dense. And so getting a chunk that you're gonna mill out just for the joystick might be a pound. Okay, now we've got brass all over this thing. And we've got them, you know, we've got little strips that are going up the legs. We've got little strips that are around the monitor themselves. And all of that is inlay. So we're cutting channels. You know, that's not something that you're gonna use plywood for. We're gonna use, you know, hard wood. We're gonna cut our channels on the mill. We're gonna make sure that the strips we're using of metal are gonna fit perfectly in the channel and it's gonna be smooth to the touch. We can zoom in later on the joystick so you can see just, you know, how accurate and how great that feels on the skin. So that's part of it. You know, part of it is we're making sure that it's meticulous, making sure we're using the highest quality material. But another thing is because this is going to tour everywhere, we're making it beefy. And so this has an extruded aluminum core. If I needed to, say, change out a panel, say on the front or on the side, if this was furniture, you'd have to completely disassemble the furniture, you know, unglue things, put them back together, re-glue it, wait for the drying time, stuff like that. Instead, what we're doing on this is that we're bolting things to the aluminum core. And then if you break something, if something gets damaged, then you can just unbolt that panel, rebolt another one, and you're good to go. What's nice about that too is that the aluminum core is super sturdy. If you looked at our movie for the CNC machine, imagine, you know, the frame of the CNC being inside Viki. That is what I'm talking about when I say aluminum core. So it's very beefy in the inside. It's going to be super sturdy, good for shipping, good for going, you know, around the country with. Everybody that does contribute will get regular updates for the making of for the game. So I plan on having updates. I would not going to say every week, but it might be every month, showing significant progress on the machine. So it would be like building the frame, showing the electronics, showing our code. You know, it's like we are using very unique code for this machine. We'll go step by step and you know, just include you in the process and have you basically build this thing with us.